back here is Bigger Than Hip Hop. I'm the photographer and videographer of It's Bigger Than Hip Hop, but tonight is NYA_TKO on Instagram. That's where you can find me. I'll just be here tonight going over a few topics that's relevant in pop culture in this this African American scheme of things that's been happening this week here with Shauna.
So what's been going on in hip hop culture this week, Greg?
All right, one big thing two connected things that happened this week. All right, this week, Suge Knight was sentenced to 28 years in prison. My bad, not jail, in prison for manslaughter. Stemming from a 2015 case, I believe. At first it was attempted murder, but he took a lesser charge. So TMZ called his last looks as he looked in the courtroom and got sentenced to 28 years, and he'll be eligible for, I believe, parole when he's 78 years old.
Now, I have a question for you, because for a long time, been watching this whole Suge Knight thing play out, just different things when it comes to Biggie and Tupac, and what it seems is like a lot of people fear Suge Knight. Why do you think that is?
I believe that in Suge Knight's heyday, even I still believe to this day, that Suge Knight had a lot of power in the streets out in LA during the 90s. He was a very feared man just based on, he played football. He was from the hood. He was blood, so everyone knew who he was. So that strength and power that he had, being able to build up Death Row to be what it was back in the day, slowly but surely after the death of Pac and the different things that happened with Biggie, he ended up back in jail. Like, this is not his first time being in jail.
Right.
He's constantly been going to jail since the murder of Pac. So basically, it reminds me of the whole Bill Cosby thing. This is another one of those. You wanted to know how the story ends, and unfortunately it ends in prison.
Now, comparing big record labels such as Death Row and the ones we have now, do you see a difference in how business is handled and artists and development is handled?
Back in the 90s and even the 80s, there was artist development, A&Rs, all these people that played a significant role in how you were. Like, you couldn't just get on, there was no Instagram. You really had a publicist, somebody that if you slipped up or somebody caught you on video or something was in the paper about you, they were able to see that and go out there trying to smooth things out. Now in this day and age, we got Instagram, we got Facebook. I can hop on there myself and say, hey, all that's BS. That's not true. So the record labels are fading. Even now, about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, Spotify announced that they're going to start letting independent artists put their music up on Spotify. So that now it's kind of eliminating the record labels, because I can just put my music up, as long as it's sampling clearance and all that. I can put my music up on Spotify and I can make money off of that, because you get paid off of streams now. So it's kind of the record labels are fading, but they still, everybody still wants a deal. But now it's like you can make it without a deal. You can go independent. Chance the Rapper, he's independent, still doesn't have a record deal, but you see everybody knows who he is. So it's a fading legacy. Okay,
so what else is going on in hip hop culture this week?
All right, also this week wrapped in with Suge Knight with Tupac. This week, Tupac's estate, Tupac Shakur, this week his estate won a 5-year lawsuit that they had with E1 Music to win over the rest of his unreleased music. They had been in his lawsuit, so I'm guessing maybe in the next 1 or 2 years, or maybe next 2 years, so we'll get. I think they said they have enough for maybe 2 more albums from Tupac.
So that's new music, or old music is gonna come out?
Let's see out in Cuba. Let's see out in Cuba making some new tracks. This is all previous music that he recorded before he passed. So now we all had the opportunity to hear the rest of that music. I just hope, his mother, Afeni, passed away, so she didn't get to see the end of the suit. But fortunately for us, we have the music still. I just really hope that they don't do these last 2 albums. What were the last Tupac albums? Pac's Life, that was 2006, and Loyal to the Game. That was before that. And I'm more of a fan of Loyal to the Game than I am Pac's Life, but I just feel like Tupac's not really an artist that I want to hear on the newer beats. Like when this new music comes out, I don't want to hear Lil Wayne on a track with him. I don't want to hear Drake on a track with him. I don't want to hear a trap beat Tupac. I just don't want to hear it. Just put out the music like the man left it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just go from there.
Why do you think that Tupac was such a big influential person in the rap game till today? A lot of people still look up to him and his music and everything he stood for. What differentiates him from artists today?
Because at the time, I don't believe that they had an artist that was really just speaking his mind. Because you got to remember that Tupac sold his personality. It was, you know, people, the media, you know, hated him for the things that he did, like, you know, the trouble that he got into. But that's what made the people love him, because he was relatable. I'm going to jail, and my favorite rapper going to jail. I'm getting out of jail, my favorite rapper getting out of jail. You know, he's rapping about things that I'm experiencing. So that's why I believe Pop. And then the tattoos, the jewelry, you know, the whole Death Row, you know, the whole Death Row at that time. You know, when that album came out, when he got out, All Eyes on Me did like 3 million, you know, not, you know, over time it did 3 million in that year. So and that was thing that wasn't being done at the time. So Pop is just his voice, and he was more than just rapping. He was acting. He was an activist. He was a poet. You know, he was all of these different things that drew you into him. So that's why I believe that he has a lasting. That's why it's always the Tupac comparisons. You know, even today I want to be like Pac, or I'm the new Pac, the Pac of my generation.
Do you have any artists today that you think have those similar characteristics as Tupac? I have one in mind, but I want to see who you're going to say.
As far as music-wise, I believe that Kendrick Lamar, he embodies a lot of what Pac stood for. I believe that J. Cole does, Big Crit, let's see, Nipsey Hussle, I believe even Meek Mill, T.I., I believe they kind of like, they embody what Pac was at that time, as far, and then T.I. more of, you know, he was going through the legal trials and things too that Pac was going through, and even the people, believe it or not, even the Tekashi 69, because he just based off of the controversy, but then, you know, outside of that, he's just a normal, you know, everyday person, just like everybody else.
The one for me, and think about this, I think NBA YoungBoy really has some qualities with, because they're Little Pac, he does. Like, I'm listening to his music and like his rants that he's so just whatever he says, whatever he want to say, and a lot of people relate to him and they're rocking with him because he just is himself, and he's so off the wall sometimes, but they love it and it's selling for him. And it's a love-hate relationship. Like a lot of times I hear people say Tupac couldn't be out right now because he is like, you know, this generation right now, they wouldn't let they wouldn't let Detroit Red become Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? They constantly keep comparing you to your past, so you're not able to evolve in this generation. So it's like Pop. You know, Pop would one day he would be, you know, doing this, and the next day he's like, you know, I'm just trying to do my own thing. I'm chilling. So I don't think that could really exist right now in this generation. Just especially with social media, you say one thing and now you go viral, or you gotta apologize, like. How many times do you think if Pac was here today, he would have to go on Instagram and like clear something up that he said or something? Pac on IG. Pac on Instagram. Honestly, I don't believe he would be on IG. I believe he would be more, probably he'd be into politics. He'd be out in the community doing more, because I look at people of his age range that was out. Of course, Snoop is on IG all the time, but Snoop is like our uncle, so he's always posting something funny and things like that. But you have people like Jay-Z. You know, Jay-Z is not on Instagram like that. You know what I'm saying? He's making moves. He did the Trayvon Martin documentary. He produced on that. So he's doing positive things. I believe that Pop would be doing that same thing. Okay. So what else you have on your list for us to talk about today? All right. Also this week, we got the long-awaited Carter 5. The Carter 5 dropped this weekend, guys. And I love it so far. I've listened to every record on there, and I love it so far. But I do think that it's not his best work. Like, I'm coming from the old Wayne, you know, I'm from New Orleans, so I'm listening to the old Wayne from Hot Boys days, and so far, and it's just like, what he presented, it's good, but I'm like, oh, Wayne, you could did better. What do you think?
So out of the Carters, this is Carter 5. I don't know if this is gonna be the end of it, but give me your favorite Carter. Carter 1 through 5.
Oh, what's the one that had
no,
I'm getting the numbers mixed up. It's the one that had, "Hey, Mr. Carter, I am him."
That's Carter 3.
3, right? Yes.
Yeah,
so that's my
3.
favorite, Carter 3.
Carter 3.
And then my favorite mixtape from him is No Ceilings, hands down. That was his best work, really.
Okay.
So what about you?
As far as the Carters, I'm a big Carter 2 fan.
Okay.
I'm a big Carter 2 fan because I believe that was more than Carter. Carter 3 was like, I'm the best rapper alive, Wayne. This is after all. That was after like a long run of being on everybody else's song. It was like, what can he do on his own? That's what Carter 3 was to me. But Carter 2 was like before that real like pop sound. Like this is like real New Orleans. If you listen to it, you hear it on the album. So as far as albums out of those, if I'm gonna put those 5 up against each other, I'm definitely going with Carter 2 for my best out of the Carters. I don't know if we're gonna get any more, but that's how I feel about that.
So we know that with Wayne, it was a big thing with him and Birdman, business and money and everything. So what is your take on mixing family, friends, and business?
Never.
You have to can't do as a people. Think about it. The Italians, the Jews, all of them as a family, they work together. They get it popping. The question is why we can't get it popping. We got that crab in the mentality in the bucket, always pulling each other down. But it can definitely happen. You just got to get with the right family members.
So why do you think that it's such a thing that's not happening within the African American families, businesses?
A lot of happenings, or rather what's not happening is based off a lot of psychological warfare that's taking place. So a lot of us are under a spell, if you will. So we're dealing with a lot of things where we got to break that thinking, that whole, the way our communities run with that ghetto mindset. We just got to break that cycle. Somebody got to go to college. That whole, ain't nobody ever been to college. Somebody got to do something different. You got to bring it up and go about it from a different perspective. Then you see some changes. But if we continue the same cycle, we're going to get the same results. And that's why we look at it like we can't do this, we can't do that, because we're keeping it in the same mindset. Nobody's trying to see the bigger picture, like why we can't, because you don't want to.
Right.
You got so much, how they say, grime in you. And the grime never benefit at the end of the day. Slime bucket lifestyle and thinking, that don't add up to nothing. So it's just a matter of, getting it together and putting down a plan and focus and moving on that. Getting your mind right.
Now it's bigger than hip hop, so we have to keep it on some hip hop tonight. So Jeff, go ahead and let us know what do you think is the biggest difference between music in your era and music in our era now? This is the battle of the generations
No
right
doubt. Now I want to touch. We're gonna get that. But y'all mentioned about the trap music and how the difference of it. I think the definition of trap music is the beat. The beat has dominated the song. It's no longer about the message or the meaning. And that's back to your question. The difference in the music was more so we had just a good time feel. We was just trying to chill, telling stories. Who had the best lyrics? Because lyricism is really what is the heart of the music when it comes to hip hop. Now it's all about, everybody was talking about the bragging of what they got. That was always a part of it. And then the battle was always a part of it. But to now, it's just more so they're talking about drugs. And, it's just ridiculous. You go back to like the late 70s, you got Melly Mel. His song, The Message, still is prevalent today. They're talking about how crazy it is. You're talking about putting coke in your nose and all like that as we sat down with MC Lyte. Her being an artist and being appalled about how artistry is being used and such and talking about drug use. It's crazy. So imagine. Because it's definitely having an impact. You got these young babies listening to you and getting persuaded and influenced. And the music is also part of that hypnotic experience. So, like I said, when I sat down with MC Lyte, one of the things she said and pointed out was turn that beat down and listen to them lyrics.
I feel like in this generation of music now, a lot of people are not even taking time to really sit and reflect on what it is that they want a certain song to be about. They just hear a beat and they're going into the studio like, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would have that.
Right. That's a hit. That's a hit
right there. Yeah.
Keep repeating it. Yeah.
But that brings me to one of my favorite female artists. Really, rap is Nicki Minaj, and I do love her. Not only just for the way she carries herself as a businesswoman and everything, but she is a lyricist to me. If you listen to her music, she really takes her time and she think about why she's saying it and what she's going to say in different ways that she can say the same thing. And she does that, and she get that from Lil Wayne. In old Wayne music, if you go back and listen to it, he can say the same word 5 different times in 5 different ways. And I feel like today a lot of people are not taking that time to use that art, because it is an art.
Exactly, and that's what the problem is. They're not respecting the art form of it. And because the beat, back to that, is dominating stuff. Who got the illest beat? You gotta think about the history of hip-hop. Remember back in the days, it was the DJ and the rapper. The DJ had nothing to say. He just scratching the music. He fell back and that was it. He didn't get no shine, no light, no nothing. Then as you progress, now the DJ's in the front. You got your producers in the front. You got all of those kind of people taking the front stands. You got DJ Khaled, he's all in the front. Like, let the artist speak. Like everybody pulling a Puffy move,
I was just about to say, that brings me back to Puffy though.
Like, get out my video. Let me do what I came to do. I'm the artist. So the game has definitely changed, and because of that, you no longer have people taking, like you said, the time to think about what is this going to do for the people? Like, what's the benefit? Everybody just trying to, as they say, y'all with that, get that bag.
Get that bag. So, what's some slang that you guys have from your generation with music? So you just spoke on one of ours. We mostly say get that bag that. What's something that you can teach us?
Let me see. I mean, you would go back to like Kumo D. He was spitting some joints. He kept it a little dialogue. You go back to a Grand Poobah. He was real slick with it. Witty with it. Let me see. Gucci Rap. You got certain lyricists
I don't know none of these people.
Right, but see, they spoke the language, like you said, in terms of how we spoke back then. They kept it funky. And they go one for you right there, keeping it funky. So it was definitely a good time, but it's just changed. And then the powers that be, you gotta remember that. When they got conscious, when you got your Public Enemy errors and KRS Ones, when they were speaking messages and realized that their platforms could be used to empower people, when it got to that point, they took that out. And now you got all this, the madness just came in. You had the NWAs and, like killing. Even though now it's two sides to that, because with the NWAs, they just basically speaking what was popping at the time.
Right.
But at the same time, because of the powers that be, you put more of that in front of the people versus, say, a Public Enemy, you're going to get more of the influence of thug life versus read a book. You know what I mean? Or like, make yourself more conscious and awareness. So it's just, it's just the way it played out, and how they just wanted more of the non-progressive music to be in the forefront. That wouldn't be of any benefit. It's just keeping you, like even now with our phones, certain things keeping us at a level, dumbing us down.
Yeah.
So even with the music. So if they kept the nonsense in the front, you wouldn't get the message, and you wouldn't get the change in the people awareness to the point where they'll take note of what's happening within the Congress and all that madness. Because a lot of, the rap and hip hop was about giving you the news, letting you know what's going on. So.
How do you feel social media has impacted the rap game now?
Now, I like what y'all was talking about, whether or not if Pac was alive.
Would he be on Instagram?
I think he would be. I think he would use that, again, the platform, understanding the power of your voice. He would be one, I believe, that would utilize it and have the meanest following and have the people doing some of the best things, because he would always provide something on the daily. So, social media is like a blessing and a curse, because you got flooded with so much ignorance and all of the sexuality and nudity and stupidity. Again, just like with the music industry, it kind of floods out the positive message. You gotta go seeking for something to feed yourself, of a good nature. So it's got its good and its bad.
Definitely. I definitely agree. Because most times, honestly, I wouldn't know about things that's going on in this world if it wasn't for social media. Unfortunately, I'm not one that watch television that much, so I don't watch the news and everything. So a lot of things I'm not aware about unless it's on social media. It's on my timeline. If I'm scrolling on the timeline, oh, this is going on, this is going on. So I feel like social media has definitely helped this generation, but at the same time, it allows you to be whoever you want to be.
Yes.
And that is a curse at sometimes.
Exactly. But then you got to be careful, though, when it comes to getting your information for social media. I work in the vet field. I'll tell y'all a funny story. And working overnight, people call in. So I had this guy call. He said his dog ate some chocolate. You know, he had experience with that before. He was real calm about it. Chocolate, by the way, is poisonous to your dog. So then he's like, yo, he also had a bottle of Advil before. So, you know, we've been through this before. Then he go into that mode that we discourage clients doing. He went into Google Doc. Started telling me, yeah, based on his weight, da-da-da-da-da, he might be all right. You know, I said, dude, listen, let's not play Google Doc and take him to the professionals. So, yeah, with the information highway and all of that and getting social media, you gotta always question the information put into you, because another language of today is, what's that, clickbait. So people put something that look of importance and of relevancy, and you clicking is a bunch of nonsense. So then that spreads out. Things go viral so quickly, and information change, and then you got everybody saying this is what it is, and it's not, because nobody took the time to dig a little deeper.
Man, it's so crazy when you look at the different type of things that was happening in hip-hop back in the day, and then I only can compare it to what I see on movies and hear about from stories, and then now, definitely, I sometimes wish that I was born back in that era, man. Yes, like, I could see myself walking in Brooklyn and, like, just bugging at Biggie and everything like that. Do you feel like those times are needed now?
Definitely, we need some good time moments like that. You know, the Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince era. I just saw a video, just thought of how refreshing it was, because it wasn't always about being a tough guy. You know, everybody was just trying to have a good time. You know, you think about his summertime joint, it just fit for the moment. You know, that song will always pop every summer. You can pop that in and be like, yeah, it fit. You know what I mean? It expresses, you know, what's popping at that time. So, yeah, just, I don't know, man, just right now, music is just on some. It's like in a relationship, we having a bad moment. You know, I don't know if we're gonna stay together or we're gonna break up, because you're doing something funny. So yeah, it's you know, you gotta make songs. Hip hop is dead. You hear songs like that. It's like, because there's always a change. There's always something where somebody's just like, it's not the same. It's doing something. It's like it's sick or something. You gotta fix it. It's broken. It's just not looking right. So yeah. So right now it's kind of looking funny. It's looking real funny.
What's an artist that you like that's in today's generation?
Again, back to your conversation, I was saying, who is our Tupac of the day? I was sitting there listening. I think of more sort of a J. Cole. J. Cole holding it down. You know, he fits, you know, the day and also his dialect and everything. He's just doing what he do. So yeah, I could see him being that person. But of course, you know how the system is set up. They don't always put that artist who's going to always give you what you need. So you got to dig it out. I think he'd be that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is J. Cole one of your guys that you listen to?
Man, when I went to Houston one year and then my son put me on, I've been liking him ever since.
What's one of your J. Cole songs?
Don't give me the line. I don't do titles on nobody I like the best. Right now I'm holding Exercise for Mama Soul. That's a title I'll remember. Check out that like page. It's Bigger Than Hip Hop for all those updates.
Now, someone approached me recently, and I was wearing my It's Bigger Than Hip Hop shirt. It was after we did the event over for the book launch.
Okay.
And someone asked me, what does that mean, It's Bigger Than Hip Hop? So, Jeff, go ahead and tell the people exactly what does that mean, It's Bigger Than Hip Hop.
So we over here representing the culture at the end of the day. So, you know, we dealing with artists, and we bring on some, you know, indie, and we do, you know, some of the award-winning Grammy joints. We mix it up, but at the end of the day, we rocking about the culture, and that's why we use the title. It's bigger than hip-hop, bigger than the music, you know, because we dealing with a lot of things that we just spoke about here briefly. So we try to provide from all different angles. You know, we think of the financial component. We bring on somebody to educate you on that. You think about entrepreneurship. You know, from all aspects, we try to provide some type of information to empower the people from the standpoint of it's bigger than hip-hop.
It's bigger than hip-hop. There you have it. It's bigger than hip-hop. Yeah, go ahead and let the people know, what do you see for hip hop today?
Like I said, it's going through some changes, and like anything, it's just gotta, like a cold, it's gotta work itself out. It's gotta work itself out.
What would you like to see hip hop go today?
Oh man, I mean, you don't want to go back, but certain part of the past would be nice, you know, like that good feel of the party, you know, like. Enough about what you got. After a while, that shit is gone. Oh, excuse me, that's corny, you know. You know, so you know, we don't really care what you got. We just want to hear the music and just relax and chill out. Because at the end of the day, everybody on their weekend, they just want to party and relax. So yeah, let's get back to the party. You know?
One thing I noticed about this generation as well, fashion and your appearance sometimes overlooks your music.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that is?
Oh man, you know, they crossed over into all of that a while back, bringing the fashion, and you know, it just became the thing. So some people just want to be real outlandish, you know, like I'm gonna show you. But I think we got a caller, right? Who we got on the phone? What's your name, caller, and what's your question?
This is Eric. I wanted to address what you were just saying about what I like to see in hip hop. I would really like to see more acoustic instruments.
Okay.
I think it would, a lot of the stuff that we hear now and have been here has been backed up by beats from electronic equipment.
Yeah.
And I'm with it, but I really would like to see and hear more acoustical instruments because they blend better, and it just adds to the whole skill set of rapping. You know, when you're rapping and playing off of another instrument other than your voice. I'm going to go back to listening. I just wanted to bring that in there because I really do hope that happens.
No doubt. Who do it better than Black Dart and the squad over there in Philly? You know, with the whole band. So, yeah, no doubt. That's where it's at.
Man. All right.
You listening to It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. We giving y'all them updates. Little something there. Just want to slide on out this week. Because next week, when we get back, we got something real special for you. Philly Sirens dance group gonna be in the building. We got celebrity judge Shane Sparks and so much more. We're gonna talk about their big event, their dance 50 state competition thing they got going on, and y'all gonna learn all about that for sure.
Right.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna be right back. And with us next week, we got the Philly Siren Dance Group, founder Misha Blue, and also celebrity Shane Sparks as we get it in talking about, as I said, that big event they doing out there is 50 State doing it up big. Until next week, family, y'all stay blessed. Peace and love.